Hello guys, what's up and welcome to the new tutorial from the SketchUpArchStudio. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how we can create some super realistic interior render in Enscape. So at the right side of my screen, you can see Enscape environment and the left side my SketchUp environment. It's a simple, tiny, small office house and we want to create some super realistic render from it, but we don't know how. For Enscape beginners and Enscape first users, you have to click on the maximizing Enscape and the W, S, A, and D you can move or walk in your environment. You can see all the materials set by myself before this tutorial, and this is the simple objects that I downloaded from the Enscape Assets Library 3.5. Very simple and easy. So before doing all of these jobs, I'm going to create some type of viewport for myself, but I don't know how. So I'm going to press F on my keyboard, click on the create view, and start my camera view. The main point is that what I want to render. I prefer to use these books for my rendering, and some type of angle like this can be really good. Don't worry about the chair and other settings, we will set all of them at the time. My pitch is about 0 and the yaw is about 228. Actually, when you look at the right side or left side, yaw and pitch will be changed for you. For the straight camera shot, you need pitch on the 0 degree and the yaw is about 228. So I'm going to unlink this render from my all visual presets and create some new render. So I'm going to type number 3 for my CAD view name, and my x is about 0.78, my y is about 1.24, and maybe some number lower than it can be good, 1.16, and the z is about negative 2.2, something like that. So the sum position is really important in our rendering, so I'm gonna hold left shift on my keyboard and right click on my cursor and change the time of the day. Very simple, something like that, and hold Ctrl U and I to change the sun direction, something like this. So in the azimuth I can fix it on the 232 degree and the altitude is about 23.4. So I'm going to press create in here and camera number 3 created for me in this place. So I'm going to click on the save frame, but before I do this job, in the visual setting at the output, I'm going to change my file formatting on the JPG and my resolution on the full HD. So now I'm going to turn the save frame on and start my rendering. So till now, if this tutorial useful for you, please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. Let's get to work. I'm going to click on the visual setting and move the these box to the displays and play with the field of view to zoom on my target. My target is my decoration and these vase plus these wine and books. So 57-degree horizontal can be really good for this. If you want to work much easier, you can create some two windows like that and move your visual preset on your SketchUp screen. So I can reduce the field of view something like this, about 48 degree, and turn off the auto exposure. You don't need to always check the auto exposure. Sometimes you can re-expose your screen manually. So I prefer to increase my exposure a little bit, some number about 56 for example, or maybe 55. And in the depth of field, I'm going to turn the depth of field on, uncheck the autofocus, and play with the focal point to reach to the best result for my 3D render. Actually, you can see some shiny bright line on your real-time rendering in Enscape, and it helps you which type of places you want to focus. I want to focus on these leaves about these ways and my books. So I think 2 can be really good parameter for me, and I can increase this number, for example 2.06 meter, something like that. And if I increase the depth of field, you can see my environment get blur, and it's not realistic because sometimes it will be fade all of the settings and it's not really good. So 9% is the normal number for it. And I can press F on my keyboard, edit camera number 3, and increase my eye level in the Y coordinate 1.3. And now it's much better. Or I can change it to the 1.2 and press save. So number 3 accepted for me, and now I can zoom on my target much more than the past, something like this. So I need exactly this type of rendering because it's a little bit artistic, and in Enscape or V-Ray or any type of rendering software related to the SketchUp, we don't know how to create some realistic artistic renders. So exposure is good, autofocus is good, and the rendering quality will be set on the ultra, but right now I want to increase the outline to the 4, and in the image bar I'm going to turn on the auto contrast. So saturation can be increased a little bit, something like that can be make your render much sharper, 113. And if I decrease the color temperature, you can see some type of warm render and warm color theme on your renders. So it completely depends on you. 4800 Kelvina is really good for my job, and in the effects motion blur is not useful. Lens flare related to the bloom option. If I increase the bloom option, you can see some type of faded lens areas in the center of your render. And when you increase the lens flare, you can see some type of shades on your render. For fixing this problem, you need to control bloom on the good number. For example, 7% can be good, and lens flare can be converted to the 77. My vignette is about 21 and chromatic aberration is about 6. So atmosphere related to the outside. The fog completely turned off because I need some clear GI calculation. Sun brightness, if I increase the sun brightness, you can see the changes very fast and easy. But I think some number about 88 can be good. Night sky is not important. And shadow sharpness related to your shadows. Look at these places in your render. When I increase the shadow sharpness, all of these shadows will be fixed for me, and something like that can be really good. But the point is that when we render the daylight, sometimes in the interior design we have soft shadows. So reducing the shadows can help you to create some more realistic renders than the past. Some number about 14% can be good. I have some type of spotlights in my environment, but we don't really talk about it right now. But if I want to increase artificial light brightness, the total brightness in our environment will be increased. 116 can be good, and ambient brightness is 63%. The wind is 0, and the sky is nothing. So everything is done for me. I'm going to increase my rendering quality to the ultra, and now time for the rendering. I want to increase exposure to the 56, and I think everything is done right now. So everything is done. I only need to change some of these objects place, for example this vine and these type of suite in here. So I will move it in front of the sun, something like that, but you can see your render will be disposed a little bit. So I will hold it in the shadows for some reasons, something like that, and I think it's good. So I can delete these vine in here and only focus on these cup of cake in this place and deselect it. So everything is done for us, everything is really good, and now time for the rendering. So I'm going to click on the screenshot button and save it on my project with the JPG format or on my desktop. I want to change the view of it to the detail, and my name is the render Enscape 3.5.4. So I'm going to click on the save, and you can see rendering in Enscape is really easy. It takes, I think, under than 10 minutes. We create this type of super realistic render in Enscape with only few steps about the setting and easy adjustments related to the sun direction and some position. So, if this tutorial useful for you, please support our content and tutorial on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe our YouTube channel. I'm going to click on the number 1, Control S, and close my job, refresh, and render Enscape 3.5.4 is here. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Thanks for your watching, thanks for your support, and goodbye.